in your comments there, isn't it funny though that Canada is a political risk and you had to buy the pipeline? How do you address that? Because that erodes investor confidence.
I think people contrast things a lot with the United States, where things are easier to get built. Except we approved Keystone XL on this side, and it's bogged down in the United States right now. Why? Because of legal risks, because of environmental concerns, because of community concerns. So what we're beginning to see around the world are very similar concerns from citizens about making sure that big projects are done the right way. Mm-hmm. And what we recognize is the previous government, for all my visits to Alberta, the previous government was very convincing in its positioning as a friend to the oil industry, as a friend to Alberta, and yet they were unable to solve the one biggest top-of-mind problem that everyone here was talking about, getting our resources to new markets. And it wasn't just a question of political will, because if it had been political will, I'm sure they would have solved it. It's a question of getting it done the right way. Mm-hmm. And that's where marginalizing Indigenous voices or ignoring community concerns or not being proactive and leaning in on environmental responsibilities actually built up opposition that we are now seeing over the past few years decrease. I mean, the support for TMX, public support for TMX has significantly increased in BC over the past few months. Why? Because we move forward on the Oceans Protection Plan that reassures British Columbians about how we're going to deal with accidents or protect our coasts. We're moving forward on partnerships. We're moving forward on putting a price on pollution right across the country. We are showing that we get how to allay people's concerns about the future at the same time as we move forward on getting big things built. So our approach is, well, if the Texas-based company thought that Canada was too big a risk to move forward on this, we need to demonstrate that it's not. And that's why taking ownership of the pipeline so it gets built is a way of demonstrating that things can get done in the right way. Not because we plan on buying projects like this in the future. This was a very much an exceptional case, but it was a situation where our best chance to get resources to new markets was about to vanish, and the federal government needed to step up, which is exactly what we did. But what we are trying to do, and what we are trying to demonstrate with this, but also do in other ways, is demonstrate that if projects are done the right way from the start and approached the right way, you can absolutely get things done without having to pass special legislation every time, as some people have suggested.
Mm. So do you think we'll see pipe in the ground here in the spring?
I certainly hope so, but that depends an awful lot on how the processes unfold. I mean, the Federal Court of Appeals said to us, you hadn't done enough on consultation with Indigenous peoples. We hadn't done enough on the environmental science, particularly protecting marine mammals and the oceans. So we're doing that, and we're going to try and make sure that we go through the process in the right way. So I'm not going to make predictions on the outcome of that, but that's one of the reasons why we're working with a former Federal Court of Appeals judge to make sure that we are abiding by the blueprint that was laid forward to create the path forward that wouldn't necessarily just apply to this, but to other projects as well.